Our next speaker today has become a force in downtown real estate through her business, Momentum Companies, and is the president of Wilmington's Downtown Business Alliance. When COVID shutdowns began to impact businesses downtown, Terry sprang into action to help create the Downtown Alive program to close streets, allow businesses to operate outside, and bring people downtown to support them. Today, she'll talk about the lessons learned and ideas for the future. Please join me in welcoming Terry Espy to the stage.
Well, first question I want to ask. During the Downtown Alive program, how many of you actually came downtown and participated in this? I want to tell you this was an awakening that none of us could imagine. I mean, this was far beyond any of our vision. Our focus all along was to make sure we saved our businesses. This is what happened. This is what happened. And if I'm falling back on the previous discussion here, we are social beings. It's not just about saving our businesses. It was about giving our community a safe place to be, our tourists a safe place to be, our employees an opportunity to come back to work before the unemployment checks had run out. I can tell you firsthand, we thought this would be a little side gig we were working on, and most of us did anticipate our businesses would see a slump and we'd have adequate time to do this. Well, coming from real estate, many of you were in there, you learned that we haven't slowed down in real estate. It's been on fire. And Downtown Alive did become something that became a full-time career. And I do want to point out, when we put together this program, our goals were to make sure we kept our businesses downtown alive. That was the main focus. And again, to make sure people were safe and people felt comfortable and the restaurants succeeded. We actually started initially, as soon as the first shutdown was lifted a little bit and the restaurants were able to do delivery and pickup, WDI and DBA grouped together and put together these pickup delivery signs and combined lists and marketed them, social media, what restaurants would be open for pickup and delivery. And you would see these all over town. So as things progressed to the next phase where they started to allow restaurants to open to diners, and we ended up putting a big team together to put together guidelines. And I have to give credit where credit's due. We were in the throes of making this thing work and trying to figure out the front end of it. We had not really thought through the street closure and everything until I got a call from, honestly, Harper Peterson. Harper said, if we don't do something now, these PPP programs are not taking care of our restaurants. And that's the mainstay of our downtown. That's the heartbeat. Retail is fed from the restaurants. And after retail, if the restaurants close, the retail's harmed, who wants to visit downtown? Who wants to live downtown? Who wants to work there? We saw this firsthand in Raleigh. We're still seeing it downtown Raleigh. We're still seeing the repercussions on Fayetteville Street and Moore Square. Charlotte, Durham, it's going to be many years before they rebound. But what you see here, these are business owners that team together. And we were very grateful. The city, I've never seen a municipality work this stealthily. Usually, and those of you in the government, the wheels turn very slowly. Not in this case. They understood how fragile our economy was and how our community was going to suffer if we did not move fast. And they did. So we had a committee of about 15 city staff members that met weekly, and we had WDI participation and DBA, and we took this on as a full-time position and listened to not just the restaurant owners, but the merchants and everyone. And everyone had the pleasure of seeing the not so lovely yellow, they called them vehicle mitigation devices. I could tell you, it could be World War III and we would not have been harmed because those things are beasts, but this was our city beast. And we looked around the country, we were the safest city in the US for sure. But we made sure that our public was taken care of. And this was city input and staff and the police department. It was a major group organization here. So we go from this phase to this is what happened. We didn't expect it. what we were being told by the restaurants and the business is that in the beginning, we'd see about 500 to 700 people a night. It was up to about 1,500, even up to 2,000 on some weekend nights. And again, the streets were closed Friday, Saturday night, part of the day, Sunday, and a little bit on Thursday. But this, you can see there's Circa. Oh, I'm going to use the pointer. There's a pointer. Here's Circa. Ash Aziz made the comment. He said, Terry, I have had Circa open for over 20 years. He saw people in his restaurant that were from the beach, or he'd seen in, Brasserie or Boca over the years, numerous people coming downtown to dine at Circa that had never been there and been residents of Wilmington for many, many years. So that was a good gauge. We also asked the business owners to give us an idea, are your employees really coming back and walking away from the unemployment checks? Because this started in June. The checks ran out in July. And every restaurant we talked to said their employees came back. And you know why they came back? Because they could make more money than that $600. So there's no precedent for this. This was just us really pushing, the organizations really working hard. This journal was wonderful. All the press, the newspaper, everybody, social media just drew people downtown. This was phase 2 of what we had done downtown, because originally it was the 4 blocks. And the city was hesitant to say, yeah, let's move forward on the parklet concept. Can't say they're very pretty, neither were the yellow mitigation devices, but they served their purpose. And you can see like Copper Penny, you can just, restaurants in the outlying areas really, really did come back and say this saved them. We ended up, the weekend of Thanksgiving was the end of the parklet. So people are asked, what are we wanting to do next? What do you think, guys? We've been asked to put together a permanent parklet concept, and this would allow businesses the option, if they want to lease spaces in front of their restaurants, or in this case, you'll see a fitness center in Long Beach, California, has a little workout area out front, but they would sign a 6-month, 12-month lease with the city, similar to our medallion parking, sidewalk dining program. But this would give them time, money, there would be a return on an investment this way instead of the water barricades. Obviously, those are not aesthetically pleasing, but this is where we're going. There's a committee that's already been formed, architects, there's 4 restaurant owners. They're putting together the data on this. There's studies that have been done all over the country, and this was done prior to COVID. So we've learned one trick throughout this whole process is not to recreate the wheel. We let Long Beach, California do the heavy lifting, and we're tweaking it to fit our business model. The same thing, Lynchburg, Charlottesville, there's other cities in the hot South that have done this, but this is one option. And people ask, why are we talking about this? This is even after COVID is over. What we found is that people enjoyed seeing people in that casual environment. They enjoyed the social aspect, and we all know that trick that if there's outdoor dining and you see energy in front of a restaurant, it draws you in. If nobody's sitting out there, probably you're gonna walk on by and think something's wrong with that restaurant. But in this case, all the studies that we have found have said that if this is offered as an option, it's not mandatory, just the businesses that want to participate can. And there's numerous, well, the fitness center here said their numbers jumped over 100% the first month that they did this, because they were in a small little, I think it was a personal trainer. But when people saw this, they stopped. So this is what we've learned through the COVID. It's not that it's just we're scared, we want to be safe. We're social. We want an environment downtown that is aesthetically pleasing, that you're proud to bring your friends downtown and you want to show off. And we've always had wonderful street events. We've always had a Zoya Festival. We've had, Rims on the River, a lot of activities that will come back. But what we've been told by the business owners downtown, they would like to see the opportunity to continue to do street closures, maybe every other weekend in the the better weather. So we're hopeful. We're getting this put together, and we understand. We've told the business owners that that we know we need to move quickly. Right now, they're scared. I mean, you can imagine now we're down to, I don't know about you guys, but every day I get 3, 4, or 5 calls from people that are sick with COVID. Restaurants now, we know we've got no alcohol served after a certain hour. So we're going to have a scary few months. But the biggest thing we learned about Wilmington is that we're resilient. I mean, this town, I'm not, this is not exaggeration, y'all. We had people calling from Portland, Oregon, asking how we did this. Oh, even better, we had Charleston call. So we've always been the adopted stepchild to them, but so all we've told them is that this was a community. These are business owners that joined together, and our local leadership listened. And they didn't stand in the way. They didn't block us. They said, yeah, we understand your fears. I had a group in yesterday from Charlotte that want to come downtown and open a restaurant. And they said they still, at this point, feel like they've been left hanging out in the wind. And the restaurant's about 20 years old. So, and I think many of you heard, Ruth Chris decided to stay downtown. We've got something really, really special here that I haven't seen around the state. And a lot of it, I always laugh, say our best sales method is to walk down the street and let the new people meet the locals, because everybody falls in love with the charm, the community. It's not about just the beach or the river, it's the people they fall in love with. So we are proceeding with this, and this is not a done deal. This is just asking the city to work with us in this next phase. And this is provided by an architect. You'll see at LS3P this was a conceptual that he put together with the water barricades, minus the ugly yellow ones or orange ones, but the committee is put together by a team of architects as well, and they want to do a competition that will allow local architects to come up with conceptuals and compete with each other. So again, reaching out to the community once more. The other thing we've asked for, this is not sexy, but this offsets those ugly yellow mitigation devices. These are called removable bollard systems. So this can be dropped in place, and we'd like to see them throughout the downtown intersections whenever we end up with Azalea Festival or any Downtown Alive ongoing, that it not becomes so burdensome, because the cost of Downtown Alive, the predominant cost was the yellow mitigation devices of about $3,000 a week, then manpower to move them. We were up to about $5,000 a week. This is the direction we need to go, because we are an event destination downtown. So this is what we're asking the city to consider highly, and we'd love anybody wants to get involved and help in any way, please. We are downtown WDI or DBA, either one. Just give us a call. We will not let you walk away empty-handed. You are going to work. Thank you, guys.